Hello, Facebook Ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Hello, guys. Another podcast. We're going to upload this one day later because I was on a trip to Athens. Just came back. So today it's a big day. Basically, yesterday was a big day. Because we have the launch of the new platform, but for Meta. But before we go to that, let's discuss about the news of the week, which is the results of the week. Let's say. After a long period, I must say that I'm very happy with the results. The accounts are booming. We're having very good results. I'm very happy, as you can see. I'm stress free. All of my accounts are doing pretty well. New accounts that I have, older accounts that I was scaling, I'm scaling even more now. And I'm very happy for that. At last, after a mediocre June and a very bad May, we have again good results. I can compare them to the month of February, that we're having very good results. So keep pushing, I guess, because we have a good situation over here. So I would like to start first of all with a new feature that I have seen in the platform. I created one campaign, a normal CBO campaign, and then I duplicated it, and because I wanted to run it with crazy method, and I have seen this message, which is actually very interesting. It says duplicate as an Advantage Plus shopping campaign. So I have done it, and most probably I'm going to do a video about it, explaining it more. Basically, if you do dynamic ads, I haven't tested that, to be honest with you. If you do dynamic creative ads and you duplicate, is it going to do different ads? We will have to see. But the thing is that I was doing this duplication with normal ads. So it was an ad set with ad, and then you were able to actually duplicate it, and it was creating all of these ads with one ad set inside an Advantage Plus campaign. So it's a very cool feature, and because we know that Advantage Plus is having some bugs, for example, when you're on the ads level and you duplicate an ad, then it doesn't take you to the new duplicated ad, and you might do a mistake of changing the ad that you have already built, and so on. So maybe you can create stuff in a normal campaign, which is faster. And for example, when you go from one ad inside Advantage Plus to the other, it takes you outside to the campaign level. It doesn't keep you on the ad level, and so on. So there are some bugs, and maybe if we create CBO campaigns, we can work faster and then duplicate them, or take some campaigns that they have worked in the past as CBOs and just duplicate them in Advantage Plus campaigns, saving time. Very cool feature. I loved it, and I'm going to test it more, and I'm going to make a video about that. So let's go for the main topic of this podcast before I go to your questions and answer everything. We have all seen that Elon Musk is learning now Jiu-Jitsu, same as Mark Zuckerberg, and we all felt like it's going to be another Tate, Logan Paul fight, I don't know what. But the thing is that it would be nice if we see Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg actually fighting in a Jiu-Jitsu match. But now they have also a reason, and a very valid reason, because Mark, our friend Mark Zuckerberg from Meta, he has actually launched a new platform which is similar to Twitter. I'm not going to say that it's a replication, but it works in a similar way. So let's see on the Instagram. This happened yesterday. Threads is here. Threads is the name of the new app. A new app where you can share updates and join convos. Use your Instagram account to log in and get started. Threads.net. For me, the picture that I get with Threads.net is this black background when I go there and stuff. But the reason for that is because it's not available in European Union because of the GDPR regulation that we have. The stupid thing about personal data, that it's actually stopping us from doing stuff in European Union instead of helping. The fun fact with this and why I'm against it, I'm not against it because I'm an advertiser. I'm against it because, first of all, it had been created by people that didn't know about marketing and how it works. And I can see it in the way that they did it. And secondly, there are people that are calling me all the time for forex investments and stuff, and there are obviously scammers and stuff. And I try to report all of these phones and try to do this and that, but nothing happens. So where the is GDPR? Because I'm helpless. I can do nothing about somebody who is calling me all the time, harassing me about, and I'm blocking their phones, by the way. They are just calling from another and another and another. So the situation is that GDPR for me is just a bullshit thing, and it doesn't work. It's just making our lives more miserable for these stupid reasons that they don't even work. So in EU, it's not here yet. I think that Mark has to find a way of solving the problems with the European Union. Good luck with that and bringing it here. But I can see here in a post that 10 million signups for Instagram threads in the first 7 hours will Meta beat Twitter in social media game. I don't know if they're going to beat it, but in the way that I have seen it in some videos, it looks very interesting. Basically, it's not a copy. It works like Twitter. You can tweet, retweet, reply, like and follow, but there is no messaging or any trending information like the hashtags that we have in Twitter. And basically, it's super easy to add it because everybody has Instagram. So you go and it takes your information from Instagram and puts it on Threads. Here are some print screens of how it's going to look. It has this cool sign of art and yeah, that's it, I guess, about the threads. Now, the big question is this: are we going to have ads in the threads? Most probably, yes. There is no way that he created something just for the people to share information. So, guys, maybe this is another placement, another thing, maybe different ads. Super excited for this kind of stuff when things are coming. And especially if it's going to use the Facebook algorithm, that would be amazing because I think that, having Instagram and Threads also there, I think it's going to be super powerful. But we don't know what Elon is going to do after that because now he has serious competition, in this field. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it's a neglect on my side, but I didn't know about that. I wasn't following that Mark was going to launch something like that. And the thing is that it looks very nice. It's not a sloppy job. It looks good. And I hope that we will just have another platform that we can run ads for because that means more money to the people that we run ads for, more sales, and more income for us, the marketeers. That's all. I'm going to go super fast today. I will try to at least because I have several meetings. Because when you go to a business trip, then you come back and there are so many things that you haven't done this day, so you have to catch up and everything. But still, Facebook blessed me with 1 or 2 days of freedom because the accounts were doing well. Because when the accounts are not doing well, you just need to do ads. But when they do well, your work is not so much. So let's go to the questions. We have Daniel here. I think that I have a meeting with Daniel today for a consulting call, if I'm right, I think. Hi, thank you for the great content. Thank you. I have a question. Let's say I have a lot of purchases from other platforms too, TikTok, for example. Does Facebook Pixel collect the data from those sales too and improve? Yes, it does. So, let's discuss a little bit about some things. Just so that we can be clear, I'm answering to all of your questions. I'm picking the best ones that I think that we should feature here. Sometimes we have analyzed them in other podcasts, but out of respect, I'm going to analyze again and because we need to have also content for the podcast. But the thing here is that I think that every time that we analyze something, maybe we are getting something more. I really hope that there are people here that they came here since the start of the channel and they just find the podcast boring because they know all the information. If we reach to that point, I'm perfectly fine with it. Don't watch it, guys, if you think that you know everything. I don't know everything. I'm learning all the time. But yeah, I think that this is going to help us to, always answer stuff, and maybe something new is coming, something new is coming. So let's discuss a little bit about it. So if you have sales from other platforms, your pixel is going to take them, but the difficult part is the identification of the people inside the platform. What do I mean about that? For example, I'm Konstantinos, I'm coming to the store, but I'm coming from TikTok and I'm going to buy. Did I use information like my mail and stuff on TikTok or whatever, or on my order, for example, in order for Facebook to be able to identify me inside the platform? For example, if my payment from PayPal is another email from my high school, and I use another email for my Facebook account, maybe Meta is not going to be able to track me inside, so that it can say to Pixel, Konstantinos, who came from TikTok, whose account is this inside Facebook, convert it in this channel and stuff. So the difficulty comes here. How is Pixel going to, Pixel API, whatever, is going to identify you within the platform and actually consider you as a person that you converted there? Now, there is not a huge discrepancy to that because it can track a lot of them. It's not only the email, it's just an example. There are more things that they can use, data points in order to track. Yeah, now with API, of course, it's working even better. And a lot of times, this is a strategy that people are using. They go to Facebook, for example, it's super expensive for them. So they use other platforms, and initially they just run retargeting campaigns on the Facebook platform. So they take all the traffic that they get from other sources, organic, SEO, Google Ads, whatever. I mentioned in one video, and I remember one case that we were running Facebook ads. He tried after that Google ads, he failed, and he found success with Bing ads. So he found success with Bing ads, and after that we were just running retargeting campaign. The pixel was trained after 1 or 2 or 3 months. I don't remember. It was far ago. And after that, we started running normal ads to Facebook, and it was working because it was having data. But he didn't go through the tough phase of actually losing money within Facebook in order to train the pixel. He did it with another way that he was profitable since day one. So yes, the answer is yes. Last fall, there's another question, I guess. Last fall, we posted a promotional video on Instagram of one of our agents whose hobby is archery. And I don't know how you did, and boosted for 50 for 10 days. This apparently violated the Facebook guidelines and our account was restricted. Yeah, archery may be considered as a weapon. We went through the review process multiple times, and that option is no longer available. Yeah, because after 2 times, if you go under review, then they say that they cannot revoke their. So think of it like this. So you do a review about another account, and then someone says, no, you're going to stay banned. What do you expect that is going to happen from a lazy employee on Meta when you ask for a review for a second time? They will say, the first one said no, I will say also no. And this is how it goes. So I would be extremely careful with my second chance, because after the second, there is no third chance for you to apply again for a review. And it says, I believe it's our business page that is restricted and not the Meta business account itself. Well, you can check that in account quality. If we could get our business page unrestricted, I think we could start running ads again. Let me know if we can help with our advertising and if needed the unrestricted of our business page so that we don't have to create a new one. Thank you. So I get this kind of messages all the time. If you're watching this podcast and you have an issue like that, please don't send me a message because I can do nothing about it. And there are some things that I'm going to say now but I know that it's not going to stop. People are just going to. I might just have to write a reply of two or three sentences and just copy paste it every time because I'm getting it all the time. And I'm not mocking that because I know how frustrating it is to lose your account and stuff. Most of you have done nothing wrong. In this case, you have done something wrong. It's against the policies of advertising arms and stuff. Not arms, weapons. Even if it is for a hobby, it doesn't matter. So the thing is this. First of all, nobody can help you. So don't expect, okay, with some exceptions, don't expect all of these people that you might see on Instagram that they can get your account back or anything, that they can get your account back, because they cannot. And the problem with that is that you're going to lose money also in the process, and you're not going to get the ad account back, or the business or the page. Now, there are some cases where I don't know them, I've never done it, but that there are people that they work inside Meta and they're getting paid to get accounts unblocked. I haven't just heard that, I have seen it happening once. So I can say that it is a possibility. I don't know who are these people, but I have seen it happening once. Secondly, the only way for you to contact Meta, I have a video about it, is to go through the customer support and everything and try to solve it. The problem is that in these cases, my best advice that I can give is that you need to keep trying all the time. It's super frustrating. You have to say the same things again and again and again and again and again, and you get replied by the same template answers. But you have to go through that process, because eventually there is going to be a normal person that is going to be on the other line, and he or she is going to help you to solve that. The other thing that you can do is, if you know any of your friends or if you have a Facebook rep, they can create a ticket for you and escalate it, so you can start exchanging emails about it with some people on Meta. But there's not a way to do that without knowing a Facebook rep or having a friend who is running ads in an account that has a Facebook rep. That's the reason a lot of times, even if I believe that Facebook reps are just full of shit and they never give an actual value to the ad accounts, I really like to contact some of them in some ad accounts that I consider super important for me. No, not like that, not super important. That they can help, let's say, because first of all, they give credits from time to time. So, you know, you can get a credit about something that Meta wants to test. But on the other hand, if something happens, I can contact them about the other account and they can unblock it. And sometimes I might contact them and they can help me for another ad account. That being said, I'm not going to help any one of you that is banned with one of these reps, because simply I'm not going to just flood them with work and everything. I just do this thing whenever I don't have any other solution. Okay. Yes, you might send them a message. The other problem is, guys, that these people, it's like a McDonald's job. They change all the time, all the time. So I don't have any stable communication with any one of them. They just change all the time. So it's very difficult, to do that. I'm just, sometimes I can say that even for other accounts I contacted, I said, this is that account, I have a problem there. They escalated it, and then the other people from the escalated team, they just discussed with me, and I have done it. This has happened 2 or 3 times that I got help like this. Other than that, I have nothing else to propose, and don't offer me money about that and stuff. It's not going to change. I'm not going to start helping people to unban accounts, because I don't have the capacity of doing it, okay? I'm just going to do it for one or two of my clients and I'm not going to onboard anyone who is having a banned account. I'm not going to work in an account like this. Sorry if it sounds a little bit strange, but it is what it is. I have my reasonings. Let's go to the next one. Great case study. Currently, we have Season Pixel focused on one of our products only. We are launching multiple products in the future, all catering to the same type of customer avatar. Should we use the same pixel to advertise on all products, or should we use different pixels for each product? If we use a different pixel for each product, I can see that over time pixel will be hyper targeted towards each separate product. Will it cost us sales and profits if we use only one pixel in the long run? Many thanks, Tim. Thank you, Tim. So let me tell you about that. The situation is this. If you have one item stores with different items, with just an item in each store, I think you should go with different pixels. If you have one store which is having one item which is working now and you want to add more, I would tell you that you should go with one pixel. Let me tell you why. One thing that I have seen, and I don't remember if it was you, but I think that you were mentioning that that the other products are similar and you were going to use the same pixel because the products are similar. To me, I have understood that after a long period, the pixels are getting trained also into your site, into which people are more likely to like your site and convert also to your site, but also with your product. Of course, the product is the key and the price and everything, but also your landing page and stuff. I have seen pixels, for example, selling one product very well in a landing page and then changing the landing page and not converting, not converting at all. So I think that the pixels are also getting trained in the way that people are going to behave inside the website, landing page, whatever that may be. So always keep that into your mind when you're taking decisions about using one pixel or several pixels. So with different stores, I would do different pixels, just train them for that. With one store, I would just train it. I would just have a pixel which is being trained with one item, okay, but it's going to have other items that they're going to start getting some good sales if they're good. And they're also going to be trained in the one common thing that all these items have, the store. And I hope that it's going to be on the same niche, because if it's on different niches, it's making things even more difficult and you need more data, more time, and so on. Let's go to the next two, which are kind of the same. I'm going to read both of them. Very poor results in last week of June. Are you seeing the same? If yes, till when do you expect this to continue? I will answer this one first. So I cannot tell you until when it's going to continue, but I can tell you that for me, for my accounts, it's over. And yes, I was seeing this kind of results for June, but for the new ad accounts, not for the trained ad accounts. The trained ad accounts were holding pretty well. Hey Konstantinos, as always, thanks for the great info. Are you noticing a drop in conversions since about mid-June? I was doing great till then all of a sudden I can't get anything to work. So guys, these things are happening with Facebook. They're pretty normal, and we're having this kind of bad periods all the time and stuff. We analyzed it. We said that, and for example, right now in July we have good results. All the forums are going to be flooded about people bragging about how good results they have. People are going to come to Facebook, advertise, ruin everything, and then we will go back to the process that a lot of people will come, they will lose money, they will say, okay, Facebook sucks, they're going to leave, and then we will have less competition and we will have again good results. So it's doing circles like that all the time. The thing that you can do in order to avoid having very bad results is, first of all, lower a little bit your spend while you try to maintain a decent budget, because when the situation is going to be back, like right now, you need to be able to have a decent base so that you can start spending more. Secondly, whenever Facebook is giving you good results, you don't wait. Unless if you don't have stock, but you don't wait. You just push as much as you can, because you don't know when you're going to have the chance again. Third one, You can do nothing about it. You can try relaunches, you can try to do this and that and that. And this is the common mistake that most people do, is that they go into panic mode, they close ads, they start doing this, they start doing that. And I know that sometimes I'm talking like, um, you know, like you should not do that from my easy spot of not spending this money. But the truth is that you need to be cold logic, and even if it's your money, you have to be able to control yourself and compose yourself. I understand that a lot of you don't have the experience and you're going to start doing panic moves, but let me tell you that it's not helping. Why? Because closing your ads, starting all over again, do this, do that, do this, do that, and doing this all the time, it's going to cause more issues from the things that it's going to fix. And I will explain. When you're having a campaign which is working with previous data and it was working for a period but you're having a bad period, it's better to lower the budget and leave it alone, even if you're going to lose some money in the process. Now, if this is getting super bad for a very long period, you have to close it. But if you see from Konstantinos and others, and if you have several accounts, which is another luxury that I have, that I see several accounts and I know that this is not a problem on the ad account, this is a general problem. But when you see that you're having very bad results in a period because of the things that we mentioned earlier, the system is being flooded with new advertisers. In that period, or some people are super greedy and they want to spend more from what they can, from what the market can absorb, actually. So in that case also, if the things are going very bad for a very long period, okay, close your ads, do things, try things here and there. Just don't panic immediately. Try to see if everybody's having a bad period on forums and everywhere, if you don't have several accounts. And try to be patient. Why? Because if you do one change, two changes, three changes, four changes, whatever, eventually it's going to work for you when it's going to work for everyone. And that's a common mistake that people do. They just do this change, this change, this change. Eventually it's working for everyone. And the last change that they did, they believe that this is the thing that is making their ad account work. But it's not like that, guys. Sadly, the game is rigged. And when you're having a lot of accounts, it's very obvious because you notice the patterns. And the patterns here are that when everything is doing pretty bad, the thing is that, you know, when it's doing pretty bad, it's doing pretty bad for everyone. And then when it's doing pretty well, it's doing pretty well for everyone, and everybody takes what they deserve. Because if your site sucks, you're not going to just start having sales magically. But if you're having your ads working, and then suddenly stopped, most probably it's because of you have a lot of competition. Now, there are some cases that there are going to be ad accounts that are going to be super strong because they have one product that nobody else has, a very good offer that people cannot resist. It doesn't matter, but these people are not going to be influenced. We're talking about accounts that are going to be influenced because they have competition, they have a price which is not as competitive as others, and so on. So there are the accounts that they will never work anyway because they have city product, city landing page, whatever. There are the other accounts that are in the middle, which is the majority that they are being influenced by how many they advertise. And then there are the accounts that they are very strong because they are something like a monopoly or nobody has it or whatever. So it's different. They're being influenced. They're going to have less ROAS, but they're not going to be unprofitable, for example. And the last thing, when you're having alt ads and they're running for a very long period of time, you're having a certain CPM that you achieved after optimizing in a hot pocket and you're having results and so on. When you're closing those ads, you're losing all of this progress and you're starting a new campaign which is going to compete with the CPM of this period, which is a bad period because a lot of people are advertising, so it's going to be more expensive. But the previous one, because it has already optimized, it has the CPMs of the previous period. Maybe they're going to rise a little bit, but still they're not going to be the same as the ones that you will have if you start a campaign in this bad period. So this is also one reason that I like to lower budgets and not close campaigns when they do bad because of a bad period. When they do bad and the period is good, I'm going to close them, do something else. But when they just go bad because of a bad period, I have the balls to tell to the client that, look, this is happening all over the board. We need to lower the budget. We need to maintain our spend. We need to keep our campaigns because these campaigns are going to be the base for the next push that we will do when things are going to get better. And most of the times it's taking from 15 days to 1 month until the idiots that came to the platform without any chances, they realize that they don't have a good chance and that they're losing money and they're going to stop advertising. And idiots. They're not idiots. They're just trying, to make their business work. But they're pissing me off because sometimes their actions are stressing me a lot across the accounts. Anyway, I think that I overanalyzed that, but I wanted to say these things because now that now that June has ended, we have a very good period on July, and we just left it back, but it's going to come again for sure. And next one. Is the tendency always to be the best option to scale in CBO? I see many saying that there are other accounts that only the ABO performs well. Is this because the CBO needs a little bit more time to perform well? Here I put also my reply because I just wanted to. In any other account, you need to just test everything. This is true. I have seen other accounts working with ABO, with CBO. It doesn't matter, whatever it's working, guys. Just test everything. This is why we have so many strategies in the channel, in order to test everything and see what is going to work with you. I would be naive and stupid if I told you that all of my strategies work everywhere or that I have a blueprint which is working everywhere. Whatever it works, you use it more. Also, ad accounts based on what you have done in the past to them tend to form behavior and favor different campaigns. That's true. The ad accounts also like things that you do, or they train to a specific behavior, and after that they favor them. As the part that you say that the CBO needs more time, this is not true. CBO campaigns can produce results faster than ABO because you have a budget for many assets and more options and chances, I guess, to get a winner. So the CBO campaign, for me, it can be proven a faster campaign in terms of results instead of an ABO. In an ABO, you have your budget in an ad set and you're just testing different things, I guess. It's a painful process because, in my opinion, you're losing money in the process, a lot of money in the process, testing things that they will never work. In a CBO campaign, although, if you know how to optimize them, of course, you can go immediately and you can put them all in a CBO, and Facebook is going to decide which one is working better and spending more money to it. And this can be faster because, first of all, if you start an ABO campaign with $20, $30 just to test, it will be impossible for you to scale it. But in CBO, maybe your ad set that is working well is going to start from a bigger budget because Facebook understood that it's working and is going to spend more to it. Secondly, you just go test and have sales at the same time, and you can be profitable much easier instead of an ABO campaign. And then he says, I agree, but I've been testing it, and sometimes Facebook spends more money on an ad set that thinks is good. Sometimes that set just didn't sell because it spent little money. I saw campaigns that in the first 3 days tried, and sometimes I lost on the fourth day boom and fifth boom explosion. So the thing is that you need to know, though, how to optimize a CBO campaign, because if you go and you see one ad set which is having a lot of budget spend and no sales and stuff, you can close it and you can liberate the budget to the others so that they can start testing. The fact that Facebook was spending money to it, it doesn't mean necessarily that Facebook is trying to spend in wrong assets. It means that it shows something. It just didn't work. You just move on, and this is where we intervene, okay? Because, as I said several times, we do really trust the algorithm. We don't trust Facebook. We trust the algorithm to do the job, but we need to intervene because sometimes the algorithm maybe it's going to understand wrong. And I'm going to give you just one example. If in one ad set, for example, there are people, I'm making a video, okay, to sell my course, and I have an ad. if people are coming and saying, "Oh my God, you are fat," then this is an engagement in comments. You're fat, you, whatever. This is in the comments. Then Facebook thinks that this is engagement, and it doesn't recognize if it's good or bad. It thinks that it's engagement. So it's going to start spending more money. Guess what is going to happen? More people that are going to be more likely to call me fat and curse on me, they're going to come and they will start putting comments over there. And they will start saying things, and Facebook thinks, oh my God, this is working. Engagement, these ads having engagement, sales are going to come soon. Facebook cannot recognize that. This is where you need to step in and you need to say, okay, I'm going to close this adset because it's bringing all these toxic people. So this is one example why we should not just leave a CBO campaign unattended, and we should close it, because maybe it's going to not optimizing for the right people, but Facebook thinks that it is. Secondly, you might see, you say about the fourth, fifth day, we have a delayed reporting up to 72 hours. You might see one adset not having any sales, taking all the budget, but it's having, for example, 10 checkouts. Then you check, what is my ratio of checkout and purchase in my ad account? For example, if every 20 checkouts you are getting 10 sales, and then you're watching that you have 10 checkouts and you're having 0 sales just because of delayed reporting, well, you don't close the ad set, you wait. And maybe it's going to work later and it's going to start optimizing like that. These are some examples of how the CBOs are taking a little bit more time, but maybe they're going to work immediately, And in my opinion, if they work, they're much faster than ABO. I think that I replied to everything. Next one. By mistake, I have deleted one of the best performing campaigns in Facebook. I want to restore or recover all data. How I can do that? Please help me. I have a video. Let's put a link in the description on how to do it. But you will never be able to recover the data and the optimization that it had. The only thing is that if you're bored of creating it again, there is a way of actually taking a deleted campaign so that you don't have to do all the work all over again. But the data is lost, my friends, sadly. Next one. One thing I noticed about Facebook ads is the fact that when I pay them, they do not push my ads. It doesn't matter what type of audience I pick. It doesn't matter what age group I sell to. It's almost like the platform is not allowed me to be seen. The last 4 days I did barely got pushed, and I used different strategies for almost every ad. A few years back, when I used to do ads, this never used to happen. I also noticed the same thing happens to me when I don't pay for ad and I just post regular. It just doesn't get pushed. I'm not sure if these two things are connected. But if this thing is happening to other folks, I would truly say Facebook is becoming more of a scamming pyramid. I wouldn't put it like that. First of all, we need to realize that Facebook is not a non-profit organization and they need to make money from all of that. So you saying that if you're doing a post, I don't know if you should be expecting to get the same reads that you will get when you are paying for the ads. Of course, you're not going to. So I don't know about that. But I agree that Facebook is becoming a dictatorship, not a scamming pyramid scheme, because they're just like a monopoly right now. In my opinion, it's the best platform right now to advertise, and they know it, that you don't have alternatives, and that's the issue. The customer support sucks. They could do more things. You just run ads, and if it's going to work, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. It's a bit of problematic, but I can understand here that you don't have a lot of experience with Facebook ads. Most probably your budgets are also small, the way that you phrase it. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? Excuse me if I'm wrong. And you just think that you need to pay in order for Facebook to help you. Yeah, that's the truth. This is how it works. Don't expect to just do a post and it's going to work. No, you will have to pay money to be seen. That's well known by everyone. And then I replied to him and he says, I'm on your side when it comes to this. I believe there is a certain Facebook ads and Facebook itself that happens to be rigged, even Instagram. There are certain patterns that are extremely off. For example, if you pay $10 for an ad, they say you're supposed to reach 2,000 people. These are estimates. They don't tell you that you will reach 2,000 people, but you end up getting around 100 people. This is bull if they do that. And if you do get 1,000 of the 2,000, you only get 2 or 3 likes. Yes, man, because you have to optimize for different things. If you run engagement ads, don't expect to get likes on your page. Nothing about the pattern is organic. I believe that the app has chosen certain people and made them successful on purpose. Okay, you take it an extra step over here. I don't have any contact with Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm doing pretty well with Facebook ads. So they could cover up the fact they're suppressing others. So just in case anybody starts complaining, they could just point out to the successful people and say, you see, nothing is wrong with the app, it's just you. Well, sorry to say, but maybe it's just you, because there are not just a few people, there are a lot that are successful with Facebook ads, and I have seen it. Don't forget, you also have social media gurus that justify that, like me. They will blame it on the time you post what you post instead of blaming the actual app. Really, dude? Really, you think that these things don't matter? You think that we just have to create a platform that you just put whatever the you want and it's going to work? It doesn't go like this. If you want to sell this thing for $1 million, do we need to create a platform that's going to work like this? And yes, I'm using just a very stupid, crazy example, but a lot of times I'm seeing things that people think that they're logical and they don't understand them, and they just keep pushing that this is a good idea. If your numbers don't make sense, if your landing page, if your site, if your customer support, if everything doesn't make sense, if your product price, average order value, how do you expect for Facebook to make it work? You will get nowhere with this way of thinking. To be fair, I've seen people who give advice about social media blame the app itself, saying things like as soon as you start a business and show product on Facebook, it will slow down your engagement. And this is true because I have seen it happen to other business owners in real life, including myself. I think that with this kind of mentality, you will go nowhere. I have no interest of just protecting Facebook or just try to say good things about it. I also don't like a lot of things that Facebook does, but let me tell you that Facebook is working. It's working for a lot of businesses. It's the only platform that is letting you scale so much. And you thinking that you're just out of the system that is not helping you stuff, it sounds to me like you're taking an approach of giving excuses to yourself for what you haven't done properly in order to be able to be profitable on Facebook ads, sadly. And if you think like that, you will never be profitable on Facebook ads. So I guess try to see what kind of mistakes you have done and you're not profitable when so many others next to you, they are profitable. And I can tell you that. And I have no benefits of telling you that, because you're not going to buy my course, you're not going to work with me or anything. I'm just telling you the truth. Can you handle it? Can you accept that it's your mistake if your products, if your site is not selling and stuff? And can you make something about it? If you can, then it's going to be fine. But it's coming from a person that has nothing to win from you. Okay, so maybe you can take my advice and you can see what kind of things you are doing wrong. Next one. When you discover an audience and creative champion at ABO level, at this time you're going to scale. How many assets and duplicate CBO do you recommend for the scale, start performing, and how much budget? So the thing here is, and the next question is also similar to that, which we will explain. The thing is that in order for you to define how many ads you can put in a CBO campaign, you need to clearly know what's your average cost per purchase. Because if you know your average cost per purchase, then you will be able to understand. For example, let's say that you have an ABO working with $20, $30 and you want to scale it in the crazy method. What you do after that is that let's say you have $100 per day. You see what kind of average cost per purchase I got there. It was $20. So the idea here is that I'm going to put 5 ad sets in a CBO of $100 crazy method, and I'm going to put maybe one more just to have space to optimize or to try to go lower than $20 cost per purchase. And based on that, let's see the next question, because you can see how people, they take that and they abuse it. I'm selling to US. My goal cost per purchase is around 20. This is your goal. It doesn't mean that you're getting that. I found an interest that generated profitable sales and landed a CBO campaign with a crazy method. It looked like one ad set is getting good CTR and CPC, but no sales. How long should I let it spend before making a decision? And then we see here, guys, that he just took the one that he had and he ran it with a CBO crazy method, but with 3 ad sets, but he's keeping the same budget. So basically, what you're doing over here is that you're trying to say to Facebook, I want now sales instead of $20 for $6. Because when you put 3 ads inside in a CBO, you're just asking for $6, $6.6 cost per purchase daily. The budgets are daily. It doesn't matter how much money you're going to spend in 30 days. It matters how much money you're spending in a daily level, because this is the budget that you're going to spend and this is what you're asking in a daily level from Facebook. So what you should have done here is that you should have put $60 of budget over here and run it with 3 ad sets. The crazy method is not a method that's going to be there just to lower your cost per purchase and stuff. The crazy method is a method that is a scaling method. It's all about, I'm having one ad set which is working. It's targeting 30 million people. I will never reach the 30 million people with just one ad set. So I'm doing the crazy method with a bigger budget in order to get more hot pockets inside that and try to scale it more and get more results out of that. So I'm just a little bit sad when I see people taking the crazy method, because I have videos I explain how it is and they just abuse it in a way that the crazy method is not meant to be used like that. You're just f***ing up my method. Anyway, hi friends, I have a new account with 50 daily spending limit currently. I'm running ads for over 2 weeks, but the account spending limit is still the same. I raised the support 5-6 times and they keep telling me to wait. From your experience, how long should it take? We have answered this in the past, and I have a video also on YouTube about it. The truth is that back in the days, I don't remember, maybe 1 year ago, you were contacting support and you were saying I need to increase it, and they were increasing it. I don't know what changed, but for the past year maybe, now when you contact them, they tell you that we can do nothing about it, you will have to wait. And they don't increase your spending limit budget. You will just have to wait and be a good boy and pay your bills and everything and behave well in order to, it's going to increase on its own. Sometimes it's taking months. I have seen other accounts go for 3 months before the budget being increased. A way of getting around it is to have a second ad account to run ads until you get that. But there's no way of going somewhere to increase it. It's going to be increased on its own by Facebook. I believe the reason is that there were fraud, there were scams where people were getting hacked, and people were creating a lot of ad accounts that they didn't have limits, and they were running as many big budgets as they could, as fast as they could. So right now they put limits to that. Anything that you see in terms of limit, it's not because Facebook don't want you to spend money. It's because they're afraid of scammers spending money. And where's the problem to that? Facebook, when you're spending money to Facebook, if Facebook comes and tells you take $10,000 to spend, it's not money that they take from their bank and they put it inside so that you can spend it. It's just credit inside. So if you ask for a refund because you got scammed and you got hacked and everything, first of all, they're not going to give it to you. Most probably they're going to give you credits if they give you something. But even if you do get a refund, they will have to take actual money out of it, and they don't want to do that. And this is the reason that we have all of these limits and limitations, because Facebook just wants to protect ad accounts from getting hacked. And then, by the way, one other thing is to have two-factor authenticator, get verified and stuff. These are things that they're speeding up the process. But yes, the reasons for these limits is because Facebook wants to protect hacked ad accounts from spending thousands of dollars in just hours until people stop their credit cards. Next one. Hi Konstantinos, I see your YouTube videos, your videos on YouTube. I'm Brazilian, using the translator to talk to you. Trying to get some of your knowledge and prosper. I'm trying CBO campaigns with like 14 assets. Okay, a little bit too many. I don't know what kind of budget you have. Just like your crazy method, but I can get more sales CBO. 2 sets sold, and then they didn't sell anymore. Only in ABO, and even then making several sets on a day, and the next day stopping the ones that did not sell. This is because of lack of pixel CBO. I can sell. I think that it's lack of your optimization skills in CBO. I think that you need to watch again and again my videos about my CBO optimization and how we do it. Maybe it's because you're using too many ad sets and you cannot handle it. For example, with 14 ad sets, maybe you need to have a budget of 300, 400, but I don't know what you have. So it's the discussion that we had earlier about how you treat the CBO campaigns, and if you give enough budget to your ad sets, or is being scattered across a lot of ad sets and they don't have enough money spent in a daily level so that they can give you the results that you want. You answered me, God bless you. Of course, I answered to everyone. I just need to say something. I answered to everyone, but there are just some people that, you know, I like to be polite and answer to your question, next question and stuff, because I understand that maybe at that point in your life you're stressing with your Facebook ads and everything, but there are some people that are abusing it. And they're asking. Just book a consultation call if you want to ask so many questions. I'm going to answer for 1 or 2 questions, but don't expect me to answer 50 questions and stuff. You can say, create a video about that, for example, or whatever. But there's just some people that are abusing it. I am afraid, because right now we're on almost 9K subscribers. I don't know what's going to happen later. Maybe I will just have to ghost people and don't even answer to them, and I don't find it polite. Or I find it a little bit cheap to tell you, dude, stop answering, just book a consultation call, because it looks like I need money from you. But some people just don't understand, and they just write. And I just write with a polite way. I'm telling them, look, I'm out for a drink. This is the answer. See ya. Another question. And the fact is that I want to be polite with everyone and try to answer everything. But the truth is, guys, that I'm not obliged to. And if so just don't abuse it, okay? I will stop the campaign and do it again for tomorrow. I started 2 months with traffic and got 157 sales, 95% in ABO. So you need to lose a little money to improve the pixel. Yes, you need to lose money to improve the pixel, but improving the pixel has nothing to do with ABO or CBO. You need to lose money in order to learn how to optimize the CBO. CBO is always going to be better than ABO. We know that. This is a fact. There are ad accounts that they have behaviors about ABO, but I'm sure that with training your ad account, you will get better results with CBO. There are several reasons which we are almost at the end of the podcast, so I'm not going to analyze. When do you definitely know that the CBO campaign is dead? After 2 or 3 days, you need to have some sales and you need to see some potential of optimizing, or your campaign is dead. The CBO campaigns start today at 5 a.m., but in my view, the metrics are horrible. You cannot criticize it based on just 12 hours of data. I saw a video that you say that with $5 it is already possible to see if the set will perform well, which is precisely the combination of CPC and CTR. Is there a specific metric to know if the campaign died, or do you go to your desired CPA? So basically, after 2 or 3 days, you know if your campaign died. There is no reason for you to start a campaign and just criticizing it on the first 24 hours. You need to let it run for a longer period in order to understand what kind of results you need. And $5 are not enough. Maybe you're referring to a video that I was talking about an engagement campaign with $5 3 years ago. I don't know when. But no, with $5 it's not enough to criticize if a campaign is going to work or not. Just put your budget in your CBO campaign. Also, CBO campaigns don't work with small budgets. For example, if you do a CBO campaign of $20, there's no point to it. But if you do ABO with $20, it makes sense. Maybe this is why you have better success with ABO, because you have small budgets. If you have bigger budgets in the CBO and you run the assets inside and you know how to optimize CBO, there's no way that you're not going to have better results with CBO. And yes, after 2 or 3 days, you need to have some results or some potential. You see one ad set, for example, optimizing very well, having some sales, not just one random sale, but it has 2 or 3 sales, which means that the optimization process has started. If you don't have that, you just close it and you do something else. My CBO campaign, the crazy method from July 4th, has 2 sales, one on the 4th and another on the 5th. However, the CTR metrics from my 9 ad sets are below 0.8 and the average ROAS is 1.55. Does that mean that the campaign is dead? It's again the same question. So your campaign is not dead because you're getting sale after sale. If you start seeing that your sales are stopping, then that means that you have an issue and that most probably the optimization is lost. And don't watch CTRs and stuff, guys. Watch just ROAS. Don't care about the CTRs. I have campaigns that they have awful CTRs and they have good ROAS. It doesn't matter. It's all about how much money you're making out of it. That's all your questions. I think that we covered some pretty interesting topics today. Let's go to the Freelancer Diaries. Just to relax a little bit and close the podcast. Facebook Ads Management. I'm looking for someone to manage and optimize my Facebook Ads account without needing to start a new campaign from scratch. I've done through research and I do think I have a good campaign setup, but my CPC is through the roof, $13 cost per click. It seems as if there is some kind of problem hindering its success, so I'm mainly looking for someone to weed it out and set it up for success, as I plan on managing it myself moving forward. The criteria would definitely be lowering the CPC to an acceptable number, an amount that we can talk about and agree upon. Here, guys, we have the ultimate cluelessness about Facebook ads. So, this person thinks that has done a very good research on Google. He knows exactly what he needs to put as an ad and everything. The audience apparently disagrees about this, but it doesn't matter because he has done his research and he knows what he's talking about. He doesn't want to do another campaign. He just wants this campaign to work, which is completely opposite from Facebook. Okay, Facebook is the art of failure. You just do things and ideas and everything, and things are failing all the time. And you just test something else. But if it doesn't work, you don't try to impose what is going to work. Then we have this thing that he says he's also cheap. He doesn't want to pay anything just to learn or to someone to manage his ads. He just wants for someone to go. It's like he thinks like Facebook ads is like plumbing. So my faucet is leaking. I need to take someone to fix it, and then I'm going to use the faucet on my own whenever I want. This is what he wants. He wants someone to go there, do one setting, fix it magically to something that they're going to agree, because he's not, in his eyes, he's not unreasonable. No, he is reasonable and he knows what he's talking about. He wants someone to go fix it without changing the campaign, okay? Because he thinks that this is a correct campaign based on the research that he has done. It doesn't matter if so. I'm having, for example, an idea. I'm doing a poll, and people say that this is a stupid idea. It doesn't matter. I believe that it's a good idea. I'm talking about an actual good poll, okay? And he wants someone to fix it. Then he's going to have the faucet to open and close, and he's going to be fine. I had so much fun reading this job post on Upwork. And I hope that you also understand that these things are not possible with Facebook, even if you want to. That's all with the podcast. I hope that you liked it, and just explore a little bit the Threads platform. It's going to be interesting, and we'll see you on the next one. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.